Amateur Fight League is back in the Midwest for the Season 3 Midwest Division matchup between the Indiana Immortals and the Illinois Inferno. We'll start the night off with local MMA prospects from here in the Chicago area. The fighters are in the cage and ready to go for the first of 3 prelims. Let's head into the cage with our ring announcer, Miguel Flores. Our first matchup of the evening in Chicago, the Elite Amateur Fight League in town. These are the prelims, not part of the competition. Illinois and Indiana coming your way, but as we get started with the prelims here, the EAFL, team versus team, state versus state. We are in Chicago at the world-famous Aragon Ballroom. Jim Grieshaber, Frankie Saenz, Anthony Farfan at 130 pounds against James Bailey. First fight on TV for Anthony and for James. James has been fighting 7 years, was in the Army in Alaska, had 2 boxing fights as well. It's been 5 years for Anthony Farfan. His first fight was about 3 years ago. He's a pressure fighter with a lot of cardio. Takedown defense is a key for him, Frankie, against a fighter in Bailey who's also a stand-up guy, but both of these guys are going to want to stand and trade is my point. You're not going to see a lot of ground game, at least if each of these guys has their way.
And you see Anthony here having some success with those leg kicks early. You know, with that striking background, there he goes again back to that leg kick. You know, people underestimate those leg kicks, and I think with James coming from more of a boxing background, he's not checking those leg kicks very well.
Farfan in the black, and Bailey is in the white.
Ooh, nice
red
counter.
And black. Nice little counter left there.
Farfan
coming in low, and look at Farfan changing stances from orthodox to southpaw as he comes in. Angles, so important in stand-up as we see there. A couple nice shots from Farfan, who at 5'5" is 2 inches shorter than his opponent.
Both these guys trying to get their stand-up going early. You know, you see James with that boxing background, just trying to set up that jab, sitting in the pocket, trying to sit on every punch. Farfan a little bit more movement, hitting those leg kicks outside, landed another one there. What you do got to be careful, though, when you throw those leg kicks against a boxer, is he likes to sit on those punches. So if he times that right hand right, you know, he's going to connect if you're staying in that pocket.
And again, both these guys are strikers from the beginning. Nice leg kick there by Farfan from Berwyn, Illinois, west side suburb of Chicago. And Victory Martial Arts head coach is Danny Summers, and Hamilton's Knucklehead Boxing is the home for James Bailey. As they touch him up there, the referee will send them to neutral corner.
You know, sometimes in these matchups, these stand-up matchups, it's about, you know, who took advantage of the time off. You know, who took advantage of getting that wrestling in, getting that grappling in, getting that jits in. You know, and sometimes that, you know, if you're taking that one shot right here when these guys aren't expected, you're expecting a stand-up war, that's when you're going to get that takedown.
Clearly, a big part of the strategy for Anthony Farfan is those kicks.
Nice right hand landed there.
Dropped him. Got him thinking about those kicks a little bit. Drop your hands a little bit.
Ooh, coming through with that front kick now.
Rob Masrigal is our referee here tonight. Farfan already scoring a knockdown. Nowhere close with that kick for Bailey. Farfan pressuring forward again to the back of the leg. He's connected with several of those leg kicks. Some blood now trickling down the cheek, Frankie, of Bailey as well.
Yeah, nice leg kicks. And you see here, like, Bailey switching stance.
Big right hand.
Nice.
And a couple body shots to boot. 10 seconds left in the round. Coming back out, countering is Bailey. Oh, head kick just misses from Farfan. A lot of action down the stretch here in round number 1. A very good round for Anthony Farfan in our opener here tonight from Chicago.
Ooh, excellent round by Anthony. You know, I like how he set up those leg kicks early, stayed with them the whole fight. I think sometimes people start going with those leg kicks early and then they stop. You know, he kept going with them the whole fight. Got James to kind of change his game a little bit. He started switching southpaw. Normally boxers, if you come from that boxing background, you're not going to switch stances. You know, if you're a right-handed fighter, you're going to stay in that right-handed stance. You know, if you're a southpaw, you're going to stay in southpaw.
So where does that come from?
That comes from those leg kicks.
Yeah,
getting kicked, not checking. You know, you start respecting that leg kick. So you want to put that other foot forward. And what that does, that puts you at a disadvantage defensively.
And so now he's all out of whack from what he's normally going to do, and more starts to land from Farfan. So it all started and opened up with those leg kicks, and I can see from where we're sitting, Frankie, the back of the left leg of James Bailey above the knee, and it's nice and welted in red. Kind of reminds you of a couple of fights I've been at where Edson Barbosa would finish fights, and he just finished a fight recently against Hooker in the UFC by beating him up in stand-up. And a lot of it originates off those leg kicks. Such an effective weapon. Henry Cejudo against Mighty Mouse Johnson was able to end Mighty Mouse's 11-fight win streak in title fights and
nice
take the
leg
belt.
Kick. He buckled him there.
Mighty Mouse, all he had going for him all night were those leg kicks landed on Henry, but it wasn't enough. It did have a devastating effect, though, as that one did, too, from Farfan. Buckled Bailey. He's up against the cage right now. You can see in the approach from Bailey coming forward, you can see whenever he puts weight on that left leg, it's hurting him a little bit.
Yeah, right now he can't get comfortable in his stance. Every time he gets comfortable, he gets kicked.
Kicked again.
You know, and he, you know, being a boxer, you want to sit in that pocket, get that jab going, finish with that right hand. And you got to get to that comfort level. Nice kick landed.
Head kick from Farfan.
And as this fight's going, you see Farfan just kind of gaining momentum. Finding that range, getting a little more comfortable. You see him starting to throw a little more things. Another leg kick to the outside. He's throwing that front kick now. Now he's faking with that leg kick, coming over the top with that 1-2.
Farfan very comfortable out there. You can see the confidence, the head moving side to side. Very good movement from him. That's a body kick just below the rib cage. Didn't have full impact on that one, but still landing.
That landed hard.
Bailey has not been able to mount any offense so far in this fight.
Farfan's just backing him up, putting him against the cage, not letting him control the cage.
Nice leg kick landed from Farfan, missed upstairs right after.
It's just his cage control, being in his face, stalking him, knowing he starts to come forward, he's just giving it away a little bit.
Yeah, and Bailey's bleeding from right below his left eye and also a little bit out of the nose, coming around the mustache toward that upper lip. And what happens there when your nose starts filling up, Frankie, you know this better than anyone. You got to breathe through your mouth with a mouthpiece in while you're still trying to focus on your technique. As Farfan misses wildly with a kick, and Bailey grabbing on for dear life here, trying to swing him around and throw him down. Can't do it. Good defense from Farfan now in the Muay Thai clench up against the cage. Shoots down for a double and lands it. Double leg takedown for Anthony Farfan coming out of that clench with Bailey up against the fence.
That was a nice transition to a takedown there. You know, and Bailey just kind of took a deep breath right there about 30 seconds ago. You know, you can see he's just kind of wearing down. You know, but you talk about that. You know, I talked to these fighters before the fight, you know, and you see what they worked on.
Oh, Farfan
really
makes
nice
connection with the right hand there. Missed with that big left, but hit the right on the way down. Now dropping that knee on that left leg and pounding away on the body of Bailey. A great angle we got from our camera here. Couple of shots to the face landing, just ground and pound. Wailing away now is Anthony Farfan. We'll see how much that effect in that first round with the leg kicks, followed up by the shots upstairs from Farfan, had their effect on Bailey, but it looks like he'll make it to round 3. We're inside of 10 seconds. Bailey getting beat up against the cage. Great position for Farfan. Very similar to where Khabib Nurmagomedov had Conor McGregor right before he got him in that neck crank to end their fight back in October. 2 rounds in the books, Frankie. 2 very impressive rounds for Anthony Farfan.
Yeah, I'm liking the momentum by Farfan. You know, just coming forward, setting up with that leg kick, starting to come upstairs now with the body kicks and the head kicks, and, you know, putting them up against the fence. You know, whenever you put somebody, you back somebody up, you put them against the fence, take them down. You know, put them on there, take their soul from them, you know, is what we want to do, is we want to take their soul from them. That way that 3rd round, he's thinking about a way out. That 3rd round, we're thinking about a finish on the other side.
Well, and you know, too, with the elbows that you throw and the leg kicks that you throw, you're beating on those legs, wearing them down. It's easier to get in there for those takedowns when the legs aren't as strong later in the fights. We'll see if Farfan's corner has him do this again. Interesting, he sits backwards on his stool. His cornerman coach doesn't come into the cage to speak to him. He faces the outside and talks to his coach that way. Round number 3 coming your way now here. Anthony Farfan and James Bailey. Farfan in the black trunks, Bailey in the white, trimmed in red and black. Elite Amateur Fight League opening bout. Not part of the competition between Indiana and Illinois, the home team tonight. One of our prelims, our first one of the night, Anthony Farfan and James Bailey at 130-pound catch weight.
Yeah, what we haven't talked about, James is an Army vet, you know, trained out in, was stationed out in Alaska, 125 Alaska Infantry. And Anthony just going to work. Easy takedown by Anthony. James just didn't have any defense for it. Right now he's looking for a guillotine out. Doesn't have it. You know, and right now, Bailey's just got to look for a way to get up. You know, when you're losing when you're on the ground, when you're on your back, and you're in guard, you're not working, which means, you know, in the judge's eyes, you're losing this fight. You know, his corner had to be telling him in that second round, hey, you're down 2 rounds to none. You know, we need a big knockout. You get taken down, you got to get your butt back up.
It's a 130-pound catch weight.
And you hear his coaches over there on the side, get up. You know, at this point, anything you can do to get back to your feet, you know, a little hip heist underneath, something. Yeah, back into some ground and pound there by Farfan. You know, if a guy's going to let you stay on top, don't let him back up. You know, you stay on top, you beat him up. Right now he's got good position, good posture, raining down punches from top, and really there's no threat by Bailey for him to get back to his feet.
No, Bailey is, as you would say, toast here, and Farfan set this up from the beginning with those leg kicks, and then the shots up top made his face bleed, chopping down the tree, weakened that front leg. You can see that leg even still, Frankie, up against the fence. That left leg of Farfan's is absolutely battered at this point. I think at this point in the fight, Farfan is looking good, going toward his 5th win here tonight. In Chicago at the Aragon Ballroom, famous. I remember watching a Green Day concert here on TV. And any place that we go and broadcast fights where they had a Green Day concert on TV, I feel pretty good about it. I know the fighters do. The Elite Amateur Fight League, team versus team, state versus state, Illinois and Indiana coming up here in a little bit. Jim Grieshopper, Frankie Saenz with our opening prelim matchup. Anthony Farfan, James Bailey at 130 pounds. And here comes Farfan unleashing the fury now with inside of a minute or right around a minute remaining in the fight. Just beating Bailey up against the fence on the ground and making it as uncomfortable for him as he can.
You know, it's great seeing success where guys were coming in and they knew, you know, he knew his wrestling game was lacking, you know, and really put a lot of emphasis on, you know, working with his wrestling. His coach has been working with him, and you see it pay off here. You know, he's been owning these last 2 rounds by takedowns and just pressure.
Hasn't been able to pass the guard, though, of Bailey. Give Bailey credit with that. Was looking for side control, couldn't get it, but still pinning him up against that cage, and nowhere for Bailey to go as Anthony Farfan puts the finishing touches on an outstanding performance to open up our show here tonight.
You know, very impressed by Anthony Farfan, just, you know, his display of just overall MMA. You know, great striking, switch stances, went to those leg kicks, which I love, and then just started going upstairs. You know, you start putting that pressure on your opponent, making him back up, get uncomfortable, you know, and he starts making mistakes, and your game just opens up from there. You know, great work by Anthony Farfan.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges saw it the same. For your winner by unanimous decision, Anthony Farfan.